Okay, here we are. The very first time we've ever done this. Welcome, one and all, to Student Robotics 2020, the virtual competition edition. We're coming to you live from various parts of the south of England, here in a new venue, which looks very similar to my bedroom, which is different. And I have to say, we're in for quite a treat with this competition year, looking at something very different and hopefully should be a lot of fun. So the competition is going to work in a slightly different way to normal. Normally we'd run all the matches over a single weekend. This year even, it's going to run slightly differently. So this weekend we're going to run some league matches, going to be spread over the next hour now, an hour tomorrow, and next weekend, second set of league matches, again, an hour on the Saturday, hour on the Sunday. And then the week after that, on the Saturday, we run the knockouts and the grand finals. At that point, we end up crowning our champion. A lot of work has gone into making this event possible. We put a lot of work in, and both Blue Shirts behind the scenes and my co-commentator, my glamorous assistant missing nothing but the sequin red purple dress, Mr. Alistair Lynn.
Well, technically you can't see me on air. Maybe I am wearing a very pretty sequined dress. Hello, Jake.
Hello.
I will be here to pass musings and observations upon whatever may unfold on this glorious sunny day, broadcasting live from Southampton. It's very sunny, in fact. Good for the soul. Not that you do anything about that.
No, good for the soul. Not very good for the gingers. Cowering inside behind the blinds is exactly where we belong.
Yes, it is the very place for us. So, who have we got competing today, Jake?
So, competing today, we have a number of teams, looking at around 11, 3 of whom are rookie teams, which means they've never competed in a Student Robotics match before, which is quite cool. So, leading off the bunch, we have both Hills Road and Hills Road 2.
Hills Road Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo, yes, indeed. Hills Road being quite so large, they have a second team, which means they have a second robot, which should be quite interesting to see. We also have Headington School from Oxford. We have Jam Dynamics from Hassocks in West Sussex. Now, this team, unlike most of the others, are not actually from a school or college. They are, in fact, just a social team who got together with their love of robotics and just wanted to compete and have fun. Moving on from that, we have King Edward Sixth School, Kenilworth Sixth Form, Lawrence Sheriff, and our German friends that I'm not even going to try and butcher that pronunciation, but Team MAI.
Gymnasium Markt Indersdorf, I think.
Yeah, your German is significantly better than mine.
It's a pretty low bar. No
yeah,
offense.
And I'm part German.
Really?
Yeah, 1/8.
That's a pretty small part.
It is, but it's a part nonetheless.
I will take it.
Moving on from Team MAI, we have South Wilts Grammar and Perth School. Perth School, again, being one of our rookie teams. And thus finishes the lineup. Those are the teams we have for the Virtual Competition 2020.
Now, I see a few names to watch there, a few previous winners. Headington School won in, I think, 2015. Hills Road have some claim to be part of the founders of Student Robotics. They're always one to watch. Southend, tried and tested team, as are South Wilts. Gymnasium Markt Indersdorf won in 2013 in one of the most spectacular matches Student Robotics has ever had. They're always a fun team to watch. And we've got some rookies in here, which could upset the pack quite significantly. It's going to be very exciting.
Historically, we do see some very good performances from these rookie teams. They tend to come out of the darkness and just do incredibly well for a team who has such little experience in the Student Robotics way of life.
I really, really don't know how this is going to end. And in fact, that's literally true because I haven't seen the matches yet.
No, and obviously, unlike, I don't know about you, but I also can't tell the future.
Yes, this wretched crystal ball seems to be very, very flaky.
A little bit cloudy.
Feel like I got ripped off by buying it.
We warned you before about those late night Amazon shopping trips. It's just not always the best.
So, in the absence of a functional crystal ball, and since I cannot find it, in the absence of even a dysfunctional crystal ball, who do we think are going to be the teams, or the matchups, shall we say, to watch today? I'm quite interested in seeing what happens in the Battle of the Cambridges between the Hills Road teams and someone else is from Cambridge, aren't they?
We have Perth School, in fact, on the exact same road as Hills Road.
Definitely one to watch. Will the Great Hills Road, either of their Great Hills Roads, be knocked down by the rookies?
Who knows? And in this first match, we have Hills Road and Hills Road 2 facing off against each other.
It's very
an interesting way to open this competition.
A very early Battle of the Cambridges.
Yeah, it's putting schoolmates against schoolmates.
Oh, it's them against Headington, in fact. Goodness, we are really starting off with the Battle of the Titans.
We have Cambridge versus Oxford. Could be interesting.
Varsity. Well, I feel like Cambridge has a slight advantage here. Or maybe this is just an enormous flex from Headington. It is not, we should clarify here, a team game. Hills Road and Hills Road 2, Cambridge Boogaloo, are very much competing against each other.
Competing against each other, formed of different people and building different robots and different code. And thus, if one team wins, another must lose.
Philosophically, are they truly different robots in this strange virtual competition which we find ourselves running?
Well, physically, no, but I've been told by my mother, it's sort of what's on the inside that counts.
Is it like the Electron? Richard Feynman says is actually just one robot travelling forwards and backwards in time.
There is only ever one robot. It's when you see it, it changes state.
Like a ninja. No, wait, what? There's a ninja right behind you, piloting a robot.
Oh no!
It is known. It is not known. Yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting competition overall. I think this is a very different format from what we've run before. Obviously, out of necessity, but it's certainly going to be interesting. We'll have to up our broadcasting game, Jake.
Yeah, it's very weird doing this live. Normally, there's a nice audience and ambience from wherever our competition takes place, which this year would have been Reading, but unfortunately we don't quite have that this year.
Didn't have to build an arena though, so we're a lot less sweaty.
Yes, that's true, and a lot less tired.
For those of you who've been to competitions before, the arena, well, it takes a while to build. It's quite big, quite heavy, especially when you get to the wrong height. We could tell you some stories. We're not going to tell you some stories, but we could.
Our lawyer has advised us not to.
That is called restraint. Nobody's ever died. I mean, at one of our competitions, obviously people have died in the past. Historically, history has some deaths in it. As far as I know. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe we're the first generation. Did history start in 1991, Jake?
I don't know. I wasn't alive in 1991.
Oh, you're so young. You're like 12.
I'm reasonably sure I'm slightly older than 12, and don't you dare say 13.
It's 15, isn't it?
Yes.
You got that multiple of 3 look around you. 3n for some integer n. All right, by our counter, there is 1 minute left to the start of this first match. There's about a 20-second delay, or so I understand, on the stream. a finite delay for a non-zero amount of time. Let's be precise here.
Precision is everything.
Precision is everything. I'd love to be able to claim that's the SR motto.
Precision, precision, precision.
Precision, precision, precision. That's definitely how we play things. Not utter accidental carnage.
15 seconds from the start of this match between the HRSs, HRS and HRS2, and HSO. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin.
Here goes nothing.
And HRS2 suddenly moving in. It's very strange.
And
HRS also moving.
All out the starting zones now. Everything to play for. Line them up. Oh, that looks like... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh. Goodness gracious me. HRS seems to have flipped over on their back. That is... Wow, that is definitely points on HRS's driving license up there.
Yeah, I can't quite see what happened from here, but considering HRS is immobilized, I'm assuming HRS2 just decided to kill their competition very quickly, and we can only hope painlessly.
That is brutal. That is brutal. HRS is just lying there on their back. HRS2 not doing anything to help. They've just failed the Voight-Kampf test. HRS2 is a replicant.
HSO, on the other hand, at least trying to go for their tokens. It looks like they're clearly thinking they're lined up to the raised platform, but not quite grabbing a token.
Their lifter seems to be up high. Maybe that's just giving a double finger salute to Hills Road. It is traditional from Oxford teams, or so I hear. They're now invading the unoccupied zone. Setting up there for making camp.
The neutral zone.
Appears to be an act of conquest. Invading the neutral zone. There's technically nothing in the rules against it, although it may possibly upset the Romulans. Goodness gracious me. Okay, so don't think we've had any points scored yet, so it would seem.
Well, I don't know. That silver token in the top right-hand corner definitely looks to be in that orange zone.
So it is. Got the one.
Unfortunately, I don't think it was put there by HRS, so some other team clearly giving them the point, although HSO clearly may be doing something about that.
Smells like team spirit.
HRS2 just suddenly deciding, I know what, I'm going to drive full force into that bottom right-hand corner wall. Not sure what its strategy is for that, but whatever works for you.
So I've just heard that the colours may be wrong on the overlay. And that's the end of the first match. So to clarify, as far as we know, that is HRS2 in pink, Hills Road in orange, and Headington in the yellow corner. I believe that is the correct assignment. We're just waiting to hear back from the match officials. Or perhaps we should say the other match officials.
I was going to say, you are the match official.
We're both officials, Jake. You just got to believe in yourself. Feel the officiality flow through you. Flex your officialness and introduce this next match for us, Jake.
I will. Starting in 45 seconds, we have match 1, because correctly we indexed from 0. Match 1 of the virtual competition between Jam Dynamics, Kev, KSF, and Lauren Sheriff, 6th Form, LSS.
Who's the one to watch in this match?
Oh, I don't know. Well, having seen Jam Dynamics' physical robot, it was incredibly impressive, and I wonder if those skills have portrayed off through to the virtual robot. That could be a very interesting one to see.
They're a rookie team, I do believe, as are Kenilworth. So a couple of rookies in this match. This could unfold any way.
Begin. Jam Dynamics definitely off to a very quick start, so clearly they have taken on board the tactics they've learnt. KSF again attempting to go for what looks like maybe a gold token. Kev, not sure what they're doing, so facing the wrong way. That's not an advice factor. But Jam Dynamics have grabbed their first silver token. Very impressive. With only 30 seconds into the match.
I see a robot on its back.
Oh, and onto its side.
A robot.
KSF grabbing a gold token and Jam Dynamics grabbing their second silver. That's very impressive. Very quick.
Meanwhile, King over the 6th, going for a different approach. They appear to be aiming for the moon.
Well, they always say aim high.
Yeah. When the whole aim for the moon, even if you miss thing, isn't meant to be taken quite so literally. That is a second point in there for our friends at Kenilworth.
They might be trying to find their third. You see it, unfortunately caught by the corner of that raised area.
Oh, yeah, that's a killer. Will it get over? We shall see.
So with 1 minute left, can't hurt to try. Unfortunately, Jam Dynamics, it seems, have just stopped in their tracks. But they have collected 2 silver tokens, which is very impressive.
I can't tell from here whether they're stuck on the central pedestal or the central raised area. Looks like they might be.
They might be. KSF definitely are.
No,
a bit. It might be the Jam Dynamics have just stopped. Whether their code has crashed or reached some other issue, we won't know.
Well, we won't know yet. Only time will tell. In the meantime, Lawrence Sheriff seems to not to have moved a great deal outside their starting area.
No, they've rotated a bit, which, very good start. But
it is a start.
You do need to do a little bit more to get some points.
It's the thought that counts.
It is.
Unless you're scoring it, in which case it's actually not the thought that counts. Alas.
No, we are scoring this.
Whoa, are we?
2, 1. Game over.
There ends match 1. Yes, it turns out we are scoring these. What a shock horror.
I mean, it would be unfortunate if we were just letting teams do all of this and just lol, no. At the end of it, it's just all for fun.
Yes, we tricked you. Well, no, it is not. Well, it is all for fun, I suppose, in the end, but it is also for league points, which are being gained in this league right now. There are 20 league points available in every game. The robot that comes first in each game gets 8 of the league points, second 6, third 4, and fourth 2, based on how they do against the other teams in each game. These league points are then totted up over the entire league and will be used to seed the entrances into our knockouts on 2 weeks today. And in this next match, we are seeing a grand entrance by the Germans. Gymnasium Mark Inderstoff in green. We've also got Headington, back from Oxford, in yellow. One blank corner. And Kenilworth, once again, making an appearance in orange. I'm very excited to see what happens in this match, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off we kick. That's a thing you can say, right?
Yeah, it's a thing you can say.
All right, I will say it, and I will say it good. Headington making their way. I love Dodo. Headington making their way out of their zone. All the robots coming out of their zone. MEI looking like they're doing some very precise lining up. They're back up against the wall. Kenilworth, go in, grab a yellow.
All of them grabbing those gold tokens. MAI and HSI almost moving in perfect unison. Quite nice to see.
Ah, yes, the old synchronized swimming approach. Fortunately, they're not underwater. We weren't quite cruel enough to simulate that.
So, next year's game.
Synchronized swimming. Oh, there's a bit of a collision going on here. Bit of a tussle going on there, up in that green corner.
And a bit of contention over that token.
Gymnasium Mark Inderstoff.
Kenilworth, however, just grabbing their second gold token and just getting on with it. Grabbing some points and not getting involved.
Bringing home the proverbial bacon. MAI, are they doing a dance?
They are, according to their code anyway, using what is known as their fidget spinner technique.
Ah, yes, the mysterious fidget spinner. Felix, maybe a little earlier in this match for the impressive victory dance. Maybe celebrating slightly too soon there, my friends.
Well, they've got one token. That's something.
As Kenilworth would wander by them, collecting their third gold token. Although, it would appear that Headington, in their generosity, have offered an olive branch in the form of a silver token to Gymnasium Markt in der Stoff. Whoa, what on earth happened there?
That's very impressive. The laws of physics, no one really told the Weebots maintainers that physics exists in an already defined way, so it can do some very impressive things like that.
Goodness gracious me, it absolutely took off there.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Team MAI.
And their virtual helicopter. My goodness.
Well, we couldn't let them enter a real helicopter. That'd be slightly too big.
Especially in a virtual world. We're ending at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is the end. Goodness, what a dramatic match. Take that, physics as we know it.
That's very impressive. And looking in that top right-hand corner, there are 3 gold tokens in there. That is a very, very impressive performance from Kenilworth Sixth Form.
Absolute chaos right there. Cries that this is outrageous in the chat. No, this is... I suppose it's not Sparta, is it? We're actually quite a long way from Sparta. Unfortunately, that means you're not going to get kicked down a well.
Yes, this is in fact Southampton, or that's Southampton. I'm coming to you live from an undisclosed location.
And we do not grant you the rank of Robo Master.
It's outrageous. It's unfair.
It is prequel memes for days.
The best memes.
The very best. Only the best for this stream. Right, up next we've got Southend, ostensibly making an entrance. I don't know if we actually have any code from them, alas. Headington once again. They're in glorious form today. And the entrance from South Wilts. Heading in magenta, with Headington in orange. And our glorious entrance from Southend, glorious in their absence, should be in the green corner. A two-horse race, or a two-robot race, perhaps I should say.
It's a form of horse.
Funny-looking
horse.
Technically a type of horse. You heard it here first.
I'd much rather watch this than the Grand Nationals any day.
Do you know the word robot actually comes from the word horse? It's true. It's actually not true, but it might be true.
You could think it's true, Alistair.
Ross is an old-fashioned word for horse in German, and it's also robot operating system. That's almost a connection, right?
It is, and in fact, these robots are running a form of robot operating system.
We're getting very cozy here. And a mysterious extra entrant onto the stream here from producer Antoine.
XSO not quite grabbing that gold token, clearly grabbing slightly too high. These tokens are in fact roughly 25 centimeters cubed, not 50.
It's actually just an enormous flex. Yeah, I don't even need this token. Look how well I did in the last couple of matches. Yeah, I see you, South Wales in the corner. This is Alpha. Important details there. Thanks, Antoine. All right. Are we going to line them up? Are we going to bring home the proverbial bacon? Suspiciously metallic, cubic bacon.
And not tasting quite as good, but in theory, vegan.
So what you're saying is it's actually not really at all like bacon.
No,
It's also not being brought home, as we have about 10 seconds to go.
unless
we
the
see-
reappearance of that mysterious invisible tokens keep plaguing our teams year on year.
There is the end of that match. You know, I half expected MAI to appear, landing in after taking off from the previous match. So a very quiet match there, particularly from Southend, notable by their absence. Right. Up next, we have King of the Sixth are back. South Wilts coming around again. Let's see if they can best their performance from that lost match. We also have the Perth School, the second newbie team from Cambridge. And of course, making a grand reappearance, we have Hills Road team number 2. Ooh. I really don't know which way this match is going to go. I feel like that's going to get a fairly old thing to say before the start of each match. But it's also true. Factually correct.
It is technically correct. Best form of correct.
Damn bootleg crystal balls.
I warned you about this.
I should have listened.
Always listen to Jake.
Forgive me, Jake. Forgive me!
No.
Oh, alright.
Begin.
Whoa! That is a very fast start out of Hills Road. Launching off the start line there, although suddenly dropping to a crawl.
They're almost hobbling. South Wilts again in the back corner doing their victory dance, having not moved. I'm guessing they're dancing because of participation. Maybe?
They're just happy to be here, man.
Why?
Or at least their robot is. I imagine the team is smashing things right now.
Happy to be somewhere else.
Signs of life up there in the corner from King over the Sixth. We'll see what they do here. Nudging of tokens down there by Hills Road. Or Hills Road 2, I should say. Hills Roads. Let's go for the James Cameron approach to sequel numbering.
It's just the one Hills Road, actually.
Touché, sir, touché. They've got a silver.
And they are slowly pushing it back, almost hobbling in nature.
They've got a silver and a limp. What will they do with the two of them? Very, very slowly head in towards their corner.
And maybe, in the final minute and 12 seconds of this match, score a point.
It goes over the line. It's this is like the snail racing Grand Nationals.
Still rather watch that than the Grand Nationals.
Squeeze it over. There we go. Oh, don't knock the Grand Nationals. We've run competitions at racecourses before.
We have indeed. Newbury has hosted us, what, 5 times in the past?
Yes, inside rather than outside, admittedly. Although, I know for a fact that the first time we ran a competition in Newbury, we used so much duct tape that we could have gone around the entire actual racecourse multiple times.
I wasn't quite there, but I can only assume that was tried.
Not with the tape. That would get quite expensive quite quickly. Very painful flooring, though, as the Hills Road robot gently spins, taking its token in and out, in and out. Do I want this point? Maybe, maybe not. We shall see. Looks like it's going to be a yes. We will have to find out in the next 5, 4, 3, 2... What? No, what?
Oh! That was...
That was painful to watch.
Oh, God. That...
Oh, sudden moment of terrible anxiety. Oh, God, it's a token. What do I do? What do I do? It's the
bad.
dog that caught the car.
Now, what does it do with it other than, throw it away?
Throw it outside of its zone. I suppose the dog catching car analogy falls down at that point.
Yeah,
I've caught the car. I'm
very
now going to somehow physically lift the car and throw it out the lane.
I mean, pregnant women can apparently lift cars to protect their children, so maybe dogs can do it if they really want it.
But only if they're pregnant.
Yes, I mean, dogs will carry more babies than humans, in theory.
That's an interesting point. It doesn't sound right to me, but I don't know enough about veterinary science to dispute it.
It must be true then. You heard it here first on the internet.
Facts brought to you
Everything
by
you hear on the internet.
Student Robotics Cares. Right, who have we got up next, Jake?
We have Per School again, one of our rookie teams. MAI, hopefully going to do another performance of their wonderful fidget spinner. King Edward VI, and the invisible Southend High School for Boys.
Their robot is either very absent or very, very advanced.
Or very, very transparent.
Both. They've mastered cloaking technology, right. Perschool actually off to quite the start, spinning right out of their zone.
And power sliding across the edge of our arena.
I've been watching too much Mario Kart.
Is there such thing as too much?
Science is still out. Right, MAI, making progress. They line up for a gold. They push the gold. They turn away from the gold. They go for silver. Hard to tell quite what they're doing with MAI up there in orange in the top right corner from this perspective. King Edward VI down in the bottom right in hot magenta.
Slowly turning towards the arena, but unfortunately not quite grabbing things. MAI moving again, one of these mysterious invisible tokens into their scoring zone. Unfortunately, only actual tokens score points.
It's practicing its mime artistry. There's no sound from the robots on the stream, so might as well lean into it. And then going for the power move once again.
That is one thing we are missing from this virtual competition. It's the wonderful noise drill motors make. Screaming.
Oh, I do love the noise.
They either burn through our carpet or burn through themselves.
I do not love the noise of a drill motor.
It's enough to keep you up at night.
Oh God. I lie awake at night. The sound of drill motors and bad wheels being shredded on our carpets.
The burn marks in carpet.
Oh, the smell of a burnt out motor. Nam flashbacks, man.
I thought you were that old.
I'm not that old, man. You're just really, really young. You and your 9-year-old.
Apparently, I'm so young I aged backwards.
Yeah, Winston Churchill did that. Fun fact. It's true. It's actually not true. He retired when he got back to 15. Right. What are we waiting for here?
Some
MAI
signs of life from King Edward's maybe moving out of their arena, but with 10 seconds left, it may not quite happen.
MAI have stopped with the dance, but are not doing anything else. They're just sitting there, biding their time. And that's the end of the match. Ooh. Low on points scored that match, I feel.
Very low.
I don't know. It's yet to find out whether the Phantom Southend robot has been scoring points by some previously unknown mechanism. We don't think there's another way of finding points, but we also don't think there's a cloaking technology exists. And yet, we see it before our very eyes. Or rather, we don't see it before our very eyes. Mysteriously absent. Well, we'll have to see whether MAI do better in this next match, which they have coming up, where they will be in glorious yellow, facing off against Lawrence Sheriff in magenta, against the Phantom Southend in, I suppose, transparent technically, but in a slightly more accurate sense, in the orange. And they'll be against Kenilworth down there in the green zone.
This is some very, very impressive things from the Kenilworth corner. This could be quite an interesting match, especially if we can also see MAI's fidget spinner in action again.
It's a flex.
It's always a flex.
It's always a flex. I learned that from CSS. Right, Lawrence Sheriff. Lining up. Are they? They move forward, they move backward. You have to see what they're doing. MAI pushing slightly up against the wall. Let's see. I believe they're lining up against one of those tokens. We'll see whether they manage to grab hold of it. Kenilworth straight into the middle there. They line up on a gold. They grab a gold. They turn back. Get them points.
And they score a gold. MAI again clearly trying to line up to that gold token, not quite lining up enough.
See how they do. They could definitely take this game if they do this right. But we have seen some very impressive performance from Kenilworth. They do seem to be jolting forwards and backwards a bit. That hasn't seemed to impact how well they've been doing.
No, MAI may even just be giving a point to Kenilworth. Not the most productive technique, but...
Well, they're not, because you lose the points if you have both colours in your zone.
Yes, you do.
Dropping a token of a different colour is a way to take points away from another team.
The wonders of the two-colour system.
The wonders of the two-colour system. Now, it does appear that the silver token isn't quite in that zone there, so I don't know if that's don't believe that's actually going to take any effect, unless Kenilworth accidentally knock it in. So I'll have to see what they do. Few signs of life from Lawrence Sheriff. They're sitting down there, lined up very well, orthogonally to the arena. It has to be said, but haven't seemed to take it much further than that.
Also, the one thing I can tell you looking at the rules is a token is considered in a scoring zone if and only if any part of it is in contact with the floor inside the zone, which means that silver token is indeed in the Kenilworth scoring zone.
Oh, well, it definitely is now.
A cunning tactic from MAI, even if it was accidental.
Only the most cunningest. And then they go, oh, fatality, double fatality.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, dearie me. Kenilworth go for ramming speed and then flip over themselves. That is almost poetic justice. With this match ending in 2 seconds. Does that kind of poetic justice? I mean, it's not irony. Sorry, Alanis Morissette. No, it's a fair point. Is it just?
I don't know, you're the head judge. You tell me.
No, that's a fair point. Justice is whatever I say it is not?
So the rulebook says.
And speaking of justice, just to clarify, we will be re-reviewing all of this. I don't imagine there's going to be anything dramatic, but we will be thoroughly checking all these matches to make sure that they're all scored properly, to make sure that nothing untoward has gone on. Don't worry, everything will be in order. Hope by the time we get back onto the stream tomorrow, we will have the first positions of the league. See how everyone is doing. Certainly be interesting to see how Jam Dynamics are doing, who are going to be in green for this next match against Headington in magenta and the Perth School in yellow. Who's the one to watch here, Jake?
Oh, that's a good question. I just don't know. Both Jam and TPS are rookie teams. So there could be some interesting things out of that. We'll just have to see. 2 seconds.
Let us kick this off. Jam, wow, go straight in.
That's very, very quick. Grabbing that silver token and almost immediately pointing back at their scoring zone and in 12 seconds scoring a point.
Damn, that's got to be the fastest grab we've seen so far.
Almost certainly.
Wow, that is some seriously impressive stuff.
Unfortunately, they can't seem to repeat it and grab a second.
Oh, they've got caught, haven't they? I'll have to see if they can get themselves free. Headington going in. They're into the centre, lining up. Let's see what they do.
Not quite grabbing a token there, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Jam looks like they're spinning around. It looks like they're looking for another token. See if they find one. I think they spotted that token that they just nudged, and they've just gone straight past it. Let's see if they can go for it.
And unfortunately, a minute into the match and no signs of a scoring life out of the CPS corner.
No, that is a shame. Well, of course, there'll be plenty of time to work on the code between now and the finals. We'll be taking resubmissions overnight for the matches tomorrow. And, of course, again for the matches for next weekend. So, hopefully nothing too melodramatic is going to occur here. We'll get some improvements to these robots for tomorrow. I'm excited to see what they do. Jam grabbing that second silver. Let's see if in the next 50 seconds they can get it back to their home zone. They're spinning around, they're looking for it, but they're going to have to do some interesting pathfinding. They can't go in a straight line because that takes them straight across the center corner. But they're backing up. They've got the clear run.
HSO rolling backwards onto their back and disappearing out of the arena. Some very impressive physics going on here.
Yeah, they
having given 2 points to the invisible unoccupied corner in the orange.
That is not 2 points because the tokens are of different colors.
Yes.
Oh, signs of life. Persical, they're moving.
10 seconds.
10 seconds to go. Little late, but more in the future. And thereupon is the end of that match. Ooh, right, who we got up next?
We have TPS again, HRS, MAI, and South Wilts.
TPS, the newbies up against some very, very established teams here.
Yeah, both of these teams have been in for at least the last 5 or 6 years even. Very, very established teams.
All three, I believe. MAI first competed in, I think, 2012, perhaps? Maybe 2013. South Wilts have been along for a long time, often with the school across the road from them, Bishop Wordsworth and Hills Road, as previously mentioned, one of the founding teams. In fact, 2 of the founders of Student Robotics founded Student Robotics after having gone to Hills Road. See how they all do in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's kick it off.
There's not much going on. All robots just moving around their scoring zones, not actually leaving them yet. MAI just about leaving. Hills Road moving towards that silver token. Can they grab it properly? Yes, they can, and lift it up and drop it. Not the best technique, but it might work.
Fumble from Hills Road there. Oh, that's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
This is not how you play basketball.
I can't say I've played basketball, but yes, probably not.
Doesn't look very much like that. You don't drop the things, and also significantly fewer robots for one.
And I can only assume some more baskets. Hills Road, at least their grabber is moving high. Maybe they can grab a gold token off that raised area.
Ah, they grab a central one. Come to me, my prey.
Doesn't score them any more points, but if they can at least get it back to their zone, that will mean they will score the first points of this match.
Bring it.
Both South Wilts and MAI sort of spinning around, not doing much. MAI, we can only assume deploying their fidget spinner technique. Exactly what's happening in the South Wilts corner, just can't say from here. First School, again, unfortunately, having driven into the side wall and not done much else. HRS were able to grab a token off the raised area, but not quite got it into their scoring zone. They even dropped it again.
We did see last-minute signs of life previously from the first school. See if they can replicate that feat, hopefully slightly earlier in this map.
Yeah, hopefully if they can take that sign of life, grab a gold token in front of them, they will be able to score some points.
Fingers crossed for them. I should clarify, each token is in fact worth 3 points rather than 1.
Each token is worth 3, but if you have 2 of different colours in your zone, they are in fact only worth 1 point.
Try not to think about the unfortunate implications of tokens being equal value, but they should be kept separate. just don't think about it. They're tokens. They don't feel pain. They do feel pain, actually. Make them sentient.
After the last 12 years of student robotics, we can only hope they don't feel pain.
You should hear the shrieks when we stamp on them.
The tokens, right?
The tokens, right. Should clarify for listeners, the traditional way that tokens are disposed of after the end of the competitions is that they're lined up and jumped upon. They're close enough to airtight that they make a very satisfying pop when you do it.
It's like stamping on a bag of crisps that's like 10 times the size.
It is. Except it doesn't have any crisps in it.
No, that would make clearing up a lot better.
That we know of, actually.
Well, all the ones I've stamped on, I've never seen a bag of crisps in them. So I assume it's probably not.
Well, we know that there's not a bag of crisps in every single one. There might be in some. Let's be precise here. And speaking of precise, precisely who do we have in this next round? We have Hills Road Team 2 against the mysterious Southend, against Lawrence Sheriff, and against King Edward VI. Hills Road in green, Edward VI in orange. As we kick off, we've got Lawrence Sheriff in the yellow. See how they do this time.
Let's see if HRS can best their single name counterpart.
Yeah, Hills Road definitely the one to watch for this particular round. Or at least, as far as the mysterious broken crystal ball has told me. I'm telling you, I really should have listened. So, Hills Road lining up on that silver token. Will they grab it? Will they not? Only time will tell. They are unfortunately at right angles to it. It's much easier to pick those up when you are orthogonal to them.
Yeah, unfortunately our grabbers aren't quite long enough to grab past those far corners. So unfortunately they're going to be stumbling at it and praying that the token magically rotates into their arms.
I've got to fit within that 500mm limit. It's almost as if this game were designed.
No, that's definitely not right.
Nah, that doesn't sound right to me.
This game came to me in a dream.
Oh, I just lost the game. Sorry. But the rules is the rules.
And as such, you lost.
I did.
Some slight signs of life from the King Edward School. It just sort of bouncing on one of its wheels. Maybe it got stuck, although that's less likely in a virtual environment.
Just very exciting.
Now moonwalking through their scoring zone.
Hills Road heading towards that side corner there. Now, of course, we can't tell whether or not they think they have a token. We don't know exactly which part of their strategy this is. It's all very opaque. But what we do see is King Edward VI out of their starting zone. They do have 30 seconds left. If they can get a point here,
That'd be an incredible comeback.
that would be an incredible
They're very close to that gold token in the top right-hand corner.
Backing up, backing
It's
up, backing
not
up.
quite close enough at the moment. If anything, pushing it further away.
Well, it's maybe part of the strategy. We don't know. We'll see what they do in the next 10 seconds.
10 seconds could pull it out the bag.
There's a lot of league points if you get first here. 2, 1. No. Ah, what a disappointment.
That's
So
unfortunate.
close, and yet so far. Hills Road not bringing home that token. Missing out on those 3 game points. Could have stormed in with those 8 league points. Do them very well.
Unfortunately, all teams in this game scored 0 points. That's unfortunate.
Current state of the league has Headington well in the lead with 17 points. Obviously, that's not entirely representative because different teams have had different numbers of matches at this point. But right now, we have Headington up in the lead, Kenilworth in second, and South Wilts and Gymnasium Marktindesdorf tied in third with 13 league points.
That is a very impressive performance from our league team at Kenilworth, shooting up into second and only match 10. That is a very, very impressive
Very
feat.
impressive indeed. Kenilworth, I should also point out, have got 17 accumulated game points over all the games, which is more than double what the next team behind them has. Very, very impressive team indeed. All right, let's bring it on. And in this match here, we have Hills Road in the green, going up against Jam Dynamics in the orange, Kenilworth in magenta, South Wilts in the yellow. Seems suspiciously quiet for a match.
Yeah, there's a lack of arena.
This is what I do believe is called technical difficulties.
Yep, looks like we're going to have to restart that match.
Well, it was going all so well, Jake, and it's all fallen down so far.
Well, hey, a brand new format, brand new environment. We made it 10 matches with 0 hiccups. I consider that a very big success.
We did okay so far. We'll just get this sorted, and then we'll be back with you. Ooh, so on the game points front, as mentioned, Kenilworth way out and ahead, 17 accumulated game points. The total game points obviously is far less important than the total league points.
It's actually just been updated with the last match. Kenilworth have 21.
21, damn.
That's phenomenal. And 23 league points, putting them second in the league and first when it comes to game points.
So we should clarify that the league is judged by the league points. Game points are only used to break ties within the league, which will be important when it comes to the seeding of the matches for the knockouts. And with this updated league, MAI, Gymnasium Marktindesdorf, still in the lead, Kenilworth still in second, and Headington holding a clear third place now. Kenilworth and Headington tied on league points, but as mentioned, the game points make all the difference when breaking those ties. Kenilworth, with their storming 21 game points accumulated, beats out the 4 from Headington. Behind them, we have Perth School, actually, with 17 league points. This goes to show it's not necessarily the number of game. You don't have to score lots of game points. You just have to match or do better than your opponents. I think they've been quite lucky so far in a sense, but they're actually holding fourth with 17 league points. South Wilts in fifth with 16. Jam Dynamics with their 11 game points. They've actually been scoring very reliably. So far,
again,
it's
another rookie team. That's very impressive. Like I say, the rookie teams can very much storm ahead of all of our tables.
They've got the fire in their blood. Or at least, I think so. I heard that from somebody. And it doesn't sound right to me, but I don't know enough about medicine to dispute it. The Greeks believed that their gods had a substance called ichor flowing through their veins, not blood. That was what made them gods. Let's see which team has the ichor once we get this next match running properly. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain as things stand. Delays inbound.
Unless this is the delay. The Jam Dynamics robot there having grabbed their silver token again incredibly quickly. Hills Road picking up the token and dropping it again and maybe deploying a fidget spinner. Kenilworth grabbing their gold token again very quickly. This is very impressive to see.
It's Battle of the Titans here.
It is.
As long as nobody gets caught on the corner of that central raised area, it's very easy to get caught on that corner.
As Jam Dynamics are showing us now.
Maybe. Does appear to be Kenilworth on their backs.
That is unfortunate. And SWI there's a token in their scoring zone which appears to have clipped outside of the arena.
What on earth happened there? I mean, it does have a corner touching the scoring zone.
That is true. There is some part of it in the scoring zone. Maybe that will count.
In is in.
The judge decrees it, it must be true.
That is not a judge's decree. I'm not wearing my judge's hat right now.
It's a very fancy hat.
It is a very fancy hat. You can't see it, but it's very tall and distinguished.
Oh, and Jam Dynamics giving a token there to their SWI opponents and falling on their back, almost faint as what on earth did I just do?
Well, that could change things quite substantially.
That could. That's 2 tokens in the South Wilts corner, 1 in the Kenilworth, and 1 in the Jam Dynamics corner. 25 seconds left. South Wilts have left their scoring zone and maybe trying to score some token points. Moving a gold token, not quite grabbing it, and deciding to grab the Hills Road robot instead.
The point of wording for the rules is that token is in a scoring zone if and only if a part of it is in contact with the floor in that zone. That clipped out bugged token, well, it is in contact with the floor. And that's the end of that match. Wow. Really is a case of take that physics as we know it.
That's quite some carnage. If we'd seen an actual competition match end like that, that would be the stuff of legends.
Yes. The most legendary match ever to have happened in Student Robotics history is the famous tiebreaker of 2013, where the team from Gymnasium Markt Indersdorf stole a point by stacking a token on top of another token, switching a point to themselves and gaining a very impressive victory with 3 seconds to go at the end of the match. If they can up that game by reliably quantum tunneling tokens out of the arena in some future physical competition, I will be very impressed.
Please do not spawn a black hole in the middle of the Student Robotics arena. Please.
No black holes, please. Will result in a very poor score on your league board, followed by death.
With 20 seconds from the start of even the penultimate match of today between Laurie Sheriff, Hills Road number 2, Jam Dynamics, and Hills Road number 1. The Battle of the Hills Roads.
Hills Roads is. I think technically the plural is Hills' Road, as HRS2 jumps straight out and then goes back to their traditional crawl.
Jam Dynamics not quite hitting their 12-second record, not quite lining up to a token there.
We'll see if they can pull something off.
Hills Road, grabbing that token in the bottom left-hand corner. That is quite a feat. Can they get
the token and they drop them?
No.
On the other hand, a point accidentally given there. Jam Dynamics giving a point to Hills Road 2. Are they trying to build a wall here? Is this the Trump tactic?
Build a wall and make Hills Road.
Hills Road's going to pay for it.
Well, I mean, the color of the Hills Road 2 robot is very like a certain someone.
I really don't like where this is going.
Hills Road 2 having got hold of a token, not quite got it. Jam Dynamics,
they pull it out the hat. They pull that token that they put in back out from Hills Road. They were just baiting Hills Road, taunting them. They pull it and score themselves a solid point.
Maybe can they score a second?
They're pulling out their trump card. Wait, what? And they do. They get the second. Just drop it, and there is the point scored.
That's impressive. Let's see if the next token they can get isn't that gold one in front. So obviously that will score them for your points. Apparently they're going to try and grab the HRS robot.
Smackdown. Fatality.
Just lol notes. You're not getting any points.
Nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask.
There's still some signs of life from both HRS robots. One having a token in their arms, one laying on their back. Unfortunately, the Hills Road robot, whilst they have control of that token, it's not in their scoring zone, so scores them nothing.
Lounging away from Hills Road. Lounging, I say.
30 seconds left of this match, and anything could happen. Unfortunately, very little signs of life from the robots, but we've seen things happen at the late stages of matches, and it could happen again.
Yeah, it could.
Probably won't.
But it could, and that's the important thing. It didn't. Wah, 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 wah. Unfortunately, we couldn't afford a real sad trombone this year.
No, we did have discussions earlier of using it with a trumpet, but it's a very different noise.
Yeah, a sad trumpet's just the last post. That might be a bit somber. Fun fact, it turned out it's actually just a trombone. And the same instrument can do all emotions. I assumed there'd be like a happy trombone and a whimsical trombone. But no, it's a sad trombone. It's just a trombone that happens to be sad at that particular point in time. Fun facts brought to you by Student Robotics. And are we done, Jake?
It would appear we are. That is it for the matches for today. We will see you all. This has been a very, very impressive first set. Alistair, what are the scores looking like?
Well, we only have scores up to date from match 10. We're waiting the match 11 scores coming up on the website. All the scores are, of course, available on the website. Just go to studentrobotics.org. We have live or close to live scores up there for you.
There we are in first place in the league. We have Kenilworth's sixth form, a very impressive from a rookie team there.
I should clarify that the scores on the screen right now are up to date with the scores from match number 10. We're waiting on match number 11 for the final league positions of the day. Now, of course, if there's anything to play for, this has only been 1/4 of the league. We're still hoping to see an entrance by Southend over the next couple of days. And there'll be plenty of opportunities to work on the code, do some debugging, find out what went right, what went wrong. These match points, these league points, these game points will be able to change an awful lot over the next few days. And there we have the scores up to date with match 11. In first place in the league, well, almost in joint first place with 28 league points each are Jam Dynamics and Kenilworth. Two rookie teams storming ahead in the league.
That's very impressive. Only 3 game points separate them. They're very close. And both of them being rookie teams is, again, very, very impressive.
Storming performance. Now, MAI, they are taking the third with 26 league points, only 7 game points. But again, this is the important thing. It doesn't matter how many game points you score, other than for tie-breaking. It matters that you score more than your opponents in each game. MAI going for a reliable strategy rather than a flashy one. That gets them into a solid third place. South Wilts and HRS2 taking the 4th and 5th slots with 24 league points. Breaking the tie, separated by a gap of only 4 game points. Headington in 6th. Hills Road number 1 in 7th with 22 league points. An exact tie for position number 8 between King Edward VI and Perth School, having scored 1 game point each at 17 league points. 12 for Lawrence Sheriff, and only 3 for Southend at the moment. I'm slightly surprised to see that 3 for Southend. So please do check back before the broadcast tomorrow. Once we've rechecked all the matches, made sure that nothing untoward has happened. Jake?
No, I believe that is it from us here. We will see you, I was about to say bright and early out of force of habit, but realistically 3 p.m. is not very early unless your sleep schedule is not especially normal. But we will see you then for the second league session of Student Robotics 2020. Goodbye.
That's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
And on that bombshell.
Oh, no, that's a trademark.
Oh.
Matches continue tomorrow.